Welcome to the Unpopped Review, movie reviews from a movie lover and not a movie critic. Well, this horrible, terrible, no good, very bad year is finally over with. And with that comes my best and worst movies of 2016. Now before I begin, I just want to say that there is absolutely no way for me to see all the movies in a year. Especially at the end of the year when all the Oscar movies are coming out, they're just really hard to see sometimes. So even though I'm going to review my 10 favorite movies that I've seen in theaters this year, I still will continue to see movies in 2017 that were released in 2016. So even though this is my top 10 currently, that can change. And with that being said, I have seen over 60 movies in theaters this year. And it was really difficult to decide which 10 I wanted to put in my top. So I had to come up with some kind of system so that way I could grade which ones would be in my top 10. And the grading system I decided on is based on 3 points. The first one is just the overall movies. How are the visuals, the characters, the actors, the story, things like that. Second is how the movie made me feel as I was leaving the theater. Was I happy, encouraged, sad, glad I saw it, disappointed I saw it, things like that. And the third and last point is actually one of the most important to me, is how rewatchable is it? Will I go back and see this movie again, and maybe how many times? So with that, let's go ahead and reveal my top 10 movies of 2016. For my number 10, I wanted to include at least one horror movie, and for me it's between 2 of them. One was The Conjuring 2, and the second one was what actually made my top 10, Don't Breathe. Ultimately, what it came down for me in Don't Breathe was Stephen Lang's performance as the ex-military blind man. His performance was so great, so intense, and so perfect. Not only that, the visual style and the way they used sound in the movie made it so intense and so perfect for any horror lover. Now, I don't hide at all how much I love Marvel movies, so for number 9 is Doctor Strange. And I felt Doctor Strange was an excellent addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From Benedict Cumberbatch's portrayal to the magical fight scenes that were included, it was all just perfect and amazing. And add that to the fact that it doesn't rely heavily on other Marvel films, it just makes it perfect for normal moviegoers and Marvel lovers. Coming in at number 8 is another Disney film, Moana. I felt Moana was bright, energetic, and one of the best animated movies of the year. I loved the music, the characters, and the story, and I was even surprised how much I loved The Rock as an animated voice. And because of all those things, it's definitely one that I'll watch many, many more times. Number 7 is the sci-fi thriller, Arrival. I feel that sci-fi is so hard to do nowadays because most people are expecting a high-packed action movie like Independence Day. But Arrival is much less like Independence Day and much more like 2001: A Space Odyssey. It captures perfectly the heart and style of those type of sci-fi movies while giving a unique and interesting visual style. But the best part of all is definitely the twist that still has me thinking. Number 6 is another independent film, Hell or High Water. I loved Hell or High Water so much. Ben Foster and Chris Pine as 2 brothers robbing banks in Texas with Jeff Bridges chasing them, it is just perfect. It was interesting, intense, and fun, and easily one of my favorite bank robbing movies of all time. Number 5 is a movie that I saw just a few days ago. It is Hunt for the Wilderpeople. This is a movie that I've been hearing over and over again that it's one that I have to see, and I am so glad that I did. The best way to describe it is that it's an awkward comedy that has a rebellious kid being sent to a foster home deep in New Zealand's country. What results is a story about survival, growth, and family. Honestly though, it's really hard to describe and I'm not doing it justice at all. But it is currently available on Hulu and other paid streaming services like iTunes and Google Play, so if you haven't seen it yet, I say definitely give it a watch. Disney hits again at number 4 with Captain America: Civil War. I feel the only thing I have to say is the airport fight. Yes, there are other good things in this movie, but for me, the airport fight is what jumps it from a number 15 on my list to a number 4. It was just so epic, so fun, and so amazing. There's been nothing like it done before, and it deserves to be high on my list because of that. But overall, I thought it was a good story of showing us what the Marvel Universe has been building up to, and also giving us a glimpse of where it is headed. Number 3 is one of the most underrated films on my list. Not critically, but financially, it should have done much better in the box office and gotten much more love from audiences. It is none other than the animated masterpiece, Kubo and the Two Strings. I enjoy most of the films released by Laika Studios, but Kubo and the Two Strings just hit it out of the park. The Japanese storytelling, music, animation style, and characters were all just absolutely perfect for me. And I'm just going to go in and call it now that I think Kubo and the Two Strings is going to win the Oscar for Best Animated Picture. My number 2 pick is much like Hunt for the Willow People in that it's an awkward comedy. It is none other than Swiss Army Man. I mean, it has Daniel Radcliffe as a farting corpse with extraordinary powers. How much more awkward can you get? And even though the end may be a little off for me, I feel the journey throughout the movie makes it absolutely perfect. There's one scene that's in a bus, well, kind of a bus, that I felt was so funny and so heartwarming that just for that scene, it deserved to be my number 2 pick. And with all of those movies, what possibly could be my number 1 pick? Well, for me, it's not a big budget movie. It's actually kind of a small and contained story that came out much earlier in the year, and it is 10 Cloverfield Lane. It is one of John Goodman's best performances, and add that to the incredible story and it just makes it perfect. Now, the only sad thing about this movie is when I talk about it with other people, I usually get one of 2 reactions. Either they haven't seen it, which you better, or they don't like the ending. Now, I'm not going to give away the ending, but what I am going to say to those people is that the ending gave John Goodman's character more depth than what was originally thought. It was perfect, and I can't imagine the ending that would have made it better. So those are the 10 best movies I've seen in 2016. If you want to see my entire ranking, head on over to the link below or movieblogger.com. And what do you think are the best movies of 2016? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to always keep it unpopped.